Tonight I'm going to be talking on the general casting of the theme, the big shift coding for the next. Father, we thank you, we bless you in Jesus' name. I want to start by making this statement, and I'll read a couple of sentences around it, that we're living in the dangerous space between what worked yesterday and what will work tomorrow. We're living in the dangerous space between what worked yesterday and what will work tomorrow. And for me, when I thought about this space is called the big shift. The danger is not that things are changing. The danger is that many people, system, churches, companies, leaders, and even nations are still depending on codes, patterns, methods, and mindset that were built for a world that no longer exists. But history teaches us something powerful. Irrelevance rarely happens suddenly. It happens gradually. When people keep responding to a new world with an old mindset, they are prone to become irrelevant. There was a time when certain companies, nations, societies, industries, cities control commerce, control the world, they control technology, they control the market, they control results and guarantee all kind of outcome for people. But the moment they stop adapting, guess what happened? They stop discerning, they stop evolving, the shift left them behind. Tonight, as I open our conferences, for me, it's not about talking about technology, innovation, and trends. It's about talking about discernment. It's about talking about capacity. And it's talking about your next. I have two things to do tonight. And the two things I have to do tonight is to help you understand the shift and prepare you for the shift. But I'd like to start by talking about something you know about. I want to talk about the story of Yahoo. In 1994, two PhD students, very young guys, very young guys, two PhD students, Jerry Yang and David Fowler, decided that they were going to start an internet company, online company called Yahoo. And they were studying electrical engineering, amazingly not studying computer. And they took some few courses in computer, but they started this company called Yahoo in 1994. By 1998, Yahoo became the most dominant internet company in the world. But Yahoo was set up to do one thing. Yahoo was set up to become an internet directory. What it did was it cataloged different websites. If you wanted to go to sports, it put all the sports websites in one place. If you wanted to read politics, it put all the political websites in one place. If you wanted to read finance, it put everything in one place. But Yahoo was the thing. They decided to scale up. And over a period of time, they started to do Yahoo Mail, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo News, and everything. But then, on the outside of Yahoo, there was another company that came in called Google. Google decided that they were not going to build the company based on directories where sites are cataloged in one place. They were going to build a plain web page that you just search for anything and you can find it instantly. So while Yahoo was concerned about content, Google was concerned about intent. So Google was concerned that you have to be precise to get it. In a certain season, Yahoo borrowed Google framework. They rented Google framework and were using Google search engine. When Google offered to Yahoo that they would like for Yahoo to buy them, Yahoo said it was a waste of time because nobody was going to handle the internet like that. Fast forward, this is 2026. I don't need to tell you the story of Yahoo because a big shift happened. Guess what happened? Google is the guy. Google is the thing. As a matter of fact, we even coin Google, we call it what? Rabba Google. So anything we want to find, anything we want to search is Google. When we do our YouTube account, is what? When we go to our iOS and our Android accounts, is what? We just Google, it's Google. But this is not just the story of Google. Let me give you another story. Two companies in the U.S. Some of you don't know it, but I'll talk about it. Some of you know one, some of you don't know the other one. One is called Blockbuster. It was called Blockbuster. It still exists, though. And another one is called Netflix. Netflix and Blockbuster had an emergence. Blockbuster had an emergence in the early 90s. But Blockbuster was into one kind of business. They were into renting movies. If you know anything about movies, some of you who know anything about it, it was on cassette. Let me digress a little bit. We had those wonderful cassettes. You know it? We had the video decks. We shop it in. If that thing got stuck, we want to screw the whole top of the video decks. We got to get it out. Especially if they told us not to watch a movie before they came home. Bro, I kid you not. To get that thing out, it has to take the whole army in the community to come and help us get it out before they get home. But you know who the people I'm speaking about? I'm speaking about the people who could afford the video decks. And I'm speaking about us who couldn't afford the video decks. Because for us, we had to go to people who could afford the video decks to watch it. Those are y'all who afford it. Y'all know yourself. Us who couldn't afford it, we know ourselves. But back to Blockbuster. So Blockbuster was renting movies. And Blockbuster had upwards over 9,000 stores in the U.S. on almost every street corner. When you needed to watch a movie, all you needed to do is to go to Blockbuster and rent a movie for the weekend. But Blockbuster had a catch. If the movie overstayed, they made the money for overtime. Delay. That's where they made the money from. Netflix came along. Netflix didn't know anything about the internet. Netflix started a very small company. This guy called Jerry Hastings started a very small company. And he decided that instead of people going to the corner to rent a Blockbuster, to rent a cassette on a movie from Blockbuster, what we'll do is that we'll do a subscription-based company and we will mail your movie to you. When we mail it to you, we'll come and pick it up. But it was slow. In 1999, they offered to Blockbuster, they said, buy us for $50 million. Blockbuster said, it's a waste of time. Nobody's going to do this thing. Nobody has this and anything. Then broadband internet came. Netflix transitioned from mailing movies to streaming online. You know the story now. There's only the shift. A few years ago, before some of us knew ourselves, they told us when you wanted to shopping, it had to be Camp Johnson Road. When you wanted to shopping, it had to be Camp Johnson Road. Let me tell you, so the reason why a lot of you don't pay attention when you work across the city, you have to pay attention to the city. You watch Camp Johnson Road from one end to another end, especially from the end from Clay Street to Perry Street, they're all lined up with stores. It's because it was the business hub of the city. After a period of time, the business hub shifted from Camp Johnson Road to Randall Street. That's the reason why Randall Street has the most stores in all of the streets that that opposite Broad Street or whatever it is. It shifted from Randall Street to Broad Street. And everybody was going to Broad Street. All the big boutiques are going to Broad Street. All the big stores are going to Broad Street. When every one of us wanted to buy, we'll go to Broad Street. Guess what happened? We're no longer going to Broad Street, we're going to Synchronization. Broad Street is becoming slowly obsolete. The big shift. It's leaving Synchronize coming to Pingsville. The shift. The streets didn't move. The buildings didn't move. Are you understanding me? Huh? The economy didn't move. But dynamics shifted when population increased. So as population started to spread, people decided that we cannot keep business concentrated in one area. It has to be in the place that residents are popping up mostly. Let me preach to some of you right now. That's the reason why if some of you are starting businesses on Broad Street, you're almost setting up to fail. Because nobody is going to Broad Street to buy. Everybody is buying between Singapore and Pingsville. Are you understanding me? Somalia Drive and Broadville. The shift. So don't come to us and give our prayer life hard time. that your business on Broad Street is not succeeding when you don't understand the dynamics of the shift. Are you understanding me? This week is not set up for us to give you languages you can understand. This week is set up for us to teach you so you can understand. Because the difficulties we're having, I'll go ahead of myself, is that we're giving the Holy Spirit some hard time. Asking him to make miracles in places he should not make miracles any longer because it shifted from that place already. When we grew up, all of government ministry were concentrated on Broad Street. We got it sparrow across the city. You can find it just about anywhere. I don't need to want to register my car and go to transport ministry. I just need to walk across the street to shift. Because the problem with a lot of us is that we're in a society, we're in an economy where we're not watching things. And let me give you an announcement. God is not going to watch it for you. He's going to put the sickness on it for you. If you don't catch it, you don't find it, then it's a waste of time. So as I thought about all of this, I thought about two texts quickly that I'm going to teach from. One of them is Jesus' encounter with the Pharisees, and one of them is the Apostle Paul. I want to deal with the one with the Apostle Paul first. If I have the time, I will come to Jesus' encounter. So give me Romans chapter 12 verse number 2 quickly. Very familiar text. Every one of us know it. Romans chapter 12 and verse number 2. Give me verse number 1. I don't need verse number 1 for anything, but I just need to capture verse number 1. For verse number 1, I just need to capture it for you. Can you indulge me quickly and just read together? 1, 2, 3, go. Uh-huh. Okay, I don't need any of that. I only need one word here. The one word I need is therefore. And the only reason why I need therefore is because Romans chapter 1 to Romans chapter 11 is all of the theology of Romans. It's where Paul teaches the full theology of the book. Romans chapter 12 onwards is the practical, pragmatic part of the book that asks us what to do with the theology we learn from chapter 1 to chapter 11. So after Paul has taught the theology, now he asks him of the pragmatic sin of it. He says, now therefore. After all that you've heard, or after all that I've said, now therefore, I beseech you to put it into action. You understand? So now put it into action. Verse 2 quickly. Be not what? Keep the word conformed. Because the three words we're dealing with quickly. Keep the word what? Be not what? Uh-huh. So now let's break it down. You got to be writing because this is classroom now. This is classroom. Be not conformed to this word. When you look at the word conform, you get the word conformity. Conformity. Now, I like one of the things that we did in school was Greek. If you went to seminary, you got to do Greek. And a little bit of Hebrew. I wasn't very good at the Greek. But I passed. I wasn't very good. But I passed. So when we look at the text, the word conform is a Greek word that is broken down into three particles, smaller words. The first word that comes out of that Greek word conform is the word sync. S-Y-N-C. When you hear the word sync, what comes to your mind? Synchronization. Have you ever seen your telephone? What do you do with it? The app from one phone to another, what do you do? Synchronization. The second word we have out of that word is the word system. Conformity. System. The third word from the Greek word we have of that word is the word schematics. So Paul is writing to the church. Don't miss me, because when you lose this, then you're going to miss what I'm going to say. Paul is writing to the church, and Paul said, I don't want you to be conformed. In short, Paul is saying that synchronization is lurking in the air. You have to be careful how you come in contact with certain things, because proximity will easily make you pick up things that you're not supposed to pick up. Synchronization. When I sync with somebody, guess what happens? It means that that person's identity becomes mine, and my identity becomes theirs. So there is no way you can tell the difference between us, because we look, we talk, we walk, we act. All right, let me go ahead of myself. It's the reason why you can tell us that you're different from your friends. Because synchronization has happened. All right, let me go ahead. You are stuck at your progress level, not because God hates you. It's because the people who you synchronize yourself with are also stuck at that progress level. So if we want to know your progress level, do you know what we need to do? We just need to wash. System. Paul said, do not be conformed. Not only through synchronization, but through system. What Paul is saying that the word is built on system. The culture of the word is built on system. If you're not careful, you will think your thoughts through the systems of the word. You will do your deeds through the system of the word. So he said you can't build your life on the framework and system of the word when God has set up something different for you. Now, how does the system of the word operate? Let me give this example. There is something in advertisement, the way you want to put it, called the 7-11-4 rule. 7, number 7. Number 11, number 4 rule. Go read it. I'll school you in this week. I'll school. If you're rushing, you're not learning. So if you're just looking at me, you take copy here. It can't work. It can't work. You get your notepad. It will help you. There's something called the 7-11-4 rule in advertisement. The 7-11-4 rule says 7 hours of content. You understand what I'm saying? 11 touch points of content. I'm going to explain it. Right? 4 platforms of the same content. That is, if I want to sell this iPhone, I must be able to consistently produce different contents that qualify up to 7 hours worth of content. They may not be the exact same content, but they will be the content about this iPhone that qualify for 7 hours. When they qualify for 7 hours, we choose prime times during the day, 11 touch points, that we can put it there for you to either listen to it or you see it. And then we choose 4 active platforms to give it to you. Now pay attention. It is what Meta knows. Because Meta is the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Pay attention. It is what Meta knows. That's the reason why Meta say to you that you can post a profile picture on Facebook, the profile picture will go to Instagram, and it will go to WhatsApp. Because they understand the 7-11-4 advertisement rule. Now, here is it. What culture does to us is that culture puts a music before us early in the morning. We listen to it early in the morning while we're driving to work. We forgot that we listened to it early in the morning. They take the same music, they put it in an advertisement for milk for Georgia We listen to it in an advertisement for milk for Georgia. We come to Facebook. We see the people dancing with that same music for 1 minute. We go to WhatsApp. We see the same thing. Somebody posted on the status. We go to Instagram. We see the same thing. We go to TikTok. We see the same thing. Guess what happened? By the time we reach home, nobody has to raise the song for us. Are you aware of that? You start to unconsciously bring it out of you. So what Paul is saying that, be mindful of the system of the word, because when you allow the system to subtly creep into you, it deposits, I'm going to talk about that later on, it deposits stuff into your life that you cannot be able to deal with. Schematics. When people build a house, they say, give us the schematics of the house. So the schematics of the house don't only tell you the drawing of the house. It tells you every dimension, measure, inside, shape, and all, or whatever it is. What Paul is saying, he said the word has a framework. And it has a system. And what that word wants to do for you is that the word wants its system to be you. So he said conformity. English is less expressive. So when we say don't be conformed, yeah, what we say, oh, don't join it. That's what it's saying. It said be mindful of how to synchronize you. Be mindful of how to set systems around you. And be mindful of the schematics that it produces around your life, that you're easily connected to different people in different touch points, unaware of yourself. But then this is what he says, I like. He said, but be ye transformed. But be ye what? Transformed, the shift. But be ye transformed. The word transform comes from the word metamorphosis. Greek again. Metamorphosis. Meta, to go beyond. Morphosis, change. To go beyond change. Morphosis, change. Meta, go beyond. Metamorphosis. Pay attention to this. You're not catching it. Metamorphosis. In 2021, Mark Zuckerberg and his and all of his guys sat down. They named their parent company Meta. Guess what happened? We're going beyond the data of this system, and we're going to what we call. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So you read stuff and you take it out of face value. Now here is the thing. Don't miss it. Here is the thing. The easiest way to explain the process is a process of change that happens from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Now let's deal with it, because you know we've said this a lot of time. Now, the caterpillar to the butterfly. Do this, pay attention. When the caterpillar is birthed, when the egg is hatched, it either attaches itself to a leaf, to a bark of a tree, or to a wet soil. The growth of that caterpillar is dependent on the amount of food that is supplied to it based upon where it's attached. Oh, that's another preaching point for some of you. That some of you, your growth is not stunted because there's anything wrong with you. Your growth is stunted because of the location you kept yourself in. It's stunted because of where you kept yourself. It's not stunted because anybody hates you, God hates you. You know they're working against me. My village people like this and all those kind of things. My village people call me, I pick up the call by mistake. You didn't pick up no call by mistake. Your growth is stunted because of where you. Are you understanding me? So, when you are not aware, you get stuck in a place that you should have been shifted from a long time ago, only because the right nutrients are not being supplied you for your growth. So the caterpillar grows between 7 to 21 days. In a couple of weeks, let's just put a few weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and it grows. Now the caterpillar is there, but it has to be transformed. to butterfly. The most important thing about that story for me is the metamorphosis of the caterpillar to butterfly. It's not a caterpillar that takes on wing. It's a caterpillar, that body that breaks down into nothing. And it gets reformed into the shape of a butterfly. So what Paul is saying that for 21 days, the caterpillar goes through a painful process of shedding every part of itself to have a new discovery, a new identity. So when it comes up, pay attention to this. It went in as a capacity to only be able to crawl. It went in. The only capacity it had was to be able to crawl when it went in. When it got out after 21 days, it passed and surpassed the crawling stage, and it got into a flying. Are you understanding me? Can I preach to some of you? Because I don't want to rush. Listen, God is not keeping you where He's keeping you because He's hurting you. He's keeping you because you're going through a shedding, breaking, refinement of your life so that when you come out, your capacity change instantly. And that's what we call a big shift. So Paul says, do not be conformed to this world. He said, but be transformed by. Now let's do this quickly. Get into some things, no time. Conformity. Pay attention. Y'all just tell it here. Do this. Conformity. Conformity. I've just taught you something. Conformity. If you follow everything I taught, because I'm going to learn somewhere. Conformity is an extended pressure from outside that want to influence your inside. So when somebody say you're conforming, it means that you're picking up things from the outside that you wanted to influence you from your inside. So while conformity is a pressure from outside, transformation is a process from the inside that affects your inside for your outside. So we have a lot of people who resemble a lot of things because they conform, but they are not transformed. Because when somebody is conformed, they're concerned about aesthetics. When somebody is transformed, guess what happens? They're concerned about attitude. Because conformity will say, the way I want to look on the outside. Transformation will say, the way I want to be processed on the inside. Now do this. We got this year and said, is the what? Coding for that computer language. That computer language. One of the things that confused me mostly in all my life is to see the guys who can code. I see this black screen and they're just writing stuff. And they're writing stuff. And they're writing stuff. And I asked them, guys, what are you writing? They said, we know what we're writing, but you don't even know what we're writing. I'm like, what are you guys writing? They said, we're building a website. Are you kidding me? How can you have a black screen and tell me you're building a website? After a couple of days, guess what happened? We see all the pictures in the right place, all the information in the right place in XYZ because they've been coding something. In that process, what is happening for us? That's quickly now. In that process, what is happening for us? They've done two things. They're dealing with two systems, two frameworks. They're dealing with a system with hardware and we're dealing with a system of software. We don't care about the hardware because the hardware is the framework on the outside. Because something can have a really good hardware That other part of it are for you to worry about it. Are you understanding me? Something can have a very good one and not damage. So, there's hardware and software. So when we look at our hands, we look at our eyes, we look at our face, we look at our legs, guess what happened? Hardware. The problem a lot of us is that we like hardware. But there's nothing wrong with liking hardware. The reason why there's nothing wrong with liking hardware is because we are attracted to hardware. Now, but do this. As much as we're attracted to hardware, guess what happened? It's the software that can make us stay. And I want to code that coding. All right. So, we have hardware, we have software. When transformation happens in for you, guess what happened? Do you know what God does? Your software, which is the system that produces everything that makes that hardware valuable, when transformation happens for you, what God does is that He takes that operating system. For some of us, it's an upgrade. For some of us, it's a new installation. When God does that, He's deciding that there are things He wants to throw in you for your next. But you see, the problem with a lot of us is that when we come into God's presence, we still want to carry the same old operating system, the conformity system. And on that conformity system, let me give you an announcement. We have, I think, 3 or 4 things that can happen there. Number 1, your system either got bug. You know what bug is? No, not the virus part. Bug is why they read in the code. It was not intentional for them to read it. Some things just happen along the line. So, we have some of the typo happen along the line, and some of just plug up in the system. Let me give you an example of A. An example of A can be the only thing that in your hearing nature like me probably like you're giving me heart away. But I will still use it. All right. So the example can be that you went to love Him with your whole heart. You went there with your whole heart. The code was being written the right way. Right? But while you went there, He abused your heart. So when you were leaving, you didn't leave with a damaged heart, but guess what happened? Bug got in your system. So the next person that came, listen now. Hey, slow down. That other person, when he called you 7 o'clock in the morning, you will pick up the call and say, oh, yes, baby, how are you? Everything all right. He called you 11 o'clock, yes, baby, everything all right. He called you 2 o'clock, yes, baby, everything all right. He called you 4 o'clock, yes, baby, everything all right. He called you 6 o'clock, yes, baby, everything all right. That you don't call 9 o'clock, but baby, you call me for me to go to pay you. For you to go to pay. But because the way you did your hand, the fire soon can ball. Now, guess what happened? The bug that entered your system say, when the next person came, when he called you 7 o'clock, he said, me, that is the way they won't fool me. No, nothing happened, oh. It's not like your life damaged, oh. It's not damaged, oh. There's a bug in your system. Only because you are carrying an old operating system. All right, pay attention. We'll go to the shift. So, but what the bug does is that the bug slows your system down. The level of efficiency, effectiveness, and speed that it has to run on, it can't run on that speed because it slows it down. So while bug is unintentional, Virus is intentional. Yeah. While bug is unintentional, guess what happened? Virus is intentional for your ship. So, bug say, is just happy. Virus say, we can play with heart. There's another victim for us to play with the heart. Because what virus does is that virus is intentionally set up to break you down. But the thing about virus is that it doesn't come saying I am virus. It doesn't. It doesn't identify itself as virus to you. When it gets into your system, it starts to eat it up, degenerate it, break it down gradually. Now, a lot of you are thinking relationship. Let me bring a balance to your life. Some of you have virus in the progress part of your life. Because there are some things that you've taken a lot of steps towards, and intentionally the enemy has put some things in your life. Are you understanding me? He put some things in your life. You remember when I said to you earlier on that the word conformity means schematics, schemes. What does Paul write later on? He said, don't be fool. We are aware of the schemes of the enemy. So there's the enemy choice of word. He puts stuff in your life that slows you down intentionally. And some of those things can look really good, but they are not good. Let me give you an example. No. Let me give you an example. Quickly, let me give you an example. There are certain people you're not supposed to be partners with. I'm not talking relationship. Now you're talking men and women business. I'm not talking relationship. There are certain people in your life. You know that this person and you don't have the same standards. You don't have the same values. But you're deciding to start a business with them. Now get ready, my sister. Something will get missing along the line. Not because they have the right language. Not because they got the right aesthetics on the outside. Not because they don't have to write the right proposal. The question you're asking yourself, is this a virus? Now let me tell you about virus again. You know what virus is? Virus is when some of you are at the level that God wants you to be pursuing that master or that PhD. Guess what happened? You got some people who will harmlessly say to you, what be education carrying anybody in their country? It looks easy, like a casual statement, but it is a virus disguise at the level of the country. Think, because your shift may be tied to your level of education. Are you understanding me? Some of you don't have virus problem in your own operating system that's slowing you down. Some of you have too many tabs open. Some of you have too many tabs open. So the shift is going to happen in your life, but your life is becoming slow because you have too many tabs open. Tab number 1, guilt. You're guilty about everything in your life. And you understand? Tabs number 2, comparison. Tab number 3, complaint. Tab number 4, unappreciation. Huh? You get that? Tab number 5, envy. Tab number 5, jealousy. Tab number 6, unforgiveness. Tab number 7, hatred. Huh? Then I go into the other partner. Tab number 9, loss. Tab number 10, alcohol. Too many tabs open. Guess what happened? If your life is going to shift into what God wants it to shift in, can I give you an announcement? You have to shut down some tabs in your life. So you say, oh, you know, give me this. My gadget is malfunctioning. It's not malfunctioning because sometimes it doesn't even have virus. It just got too many tabs open. And the tabs exposing you to too many different things. But then you see, when God comes in the picture and transformation happens, this is what God does. He takes your old operating system and he puts in a new operating system. Because God is aware that he's about to drop applications on your system that don't fit in the old operating system. I'm shifting from my big. I'm shifting. Now I'm saying 2026 is my year of the big. We're in a big shift. And we're shifting for business. Take the next 10 minutes close. We're shifting for business. But the same person who's shifting for business is the same person who got entertainment tab open every 3 days in a week on the operating system. But it's the same person who's shifting for business. So then when God comes to your old operating system, the application that's called business, when it's about to be downloaded on your operating system, guess what happened? It's downloading, it just reached. It gets stuck. Why can't it go beyond this? Why can't it go beyond this? The problem is not that the business can work. It's that your old operating system only functional for entertainment. It's not functional for business. Some of you will not like me when I say they won't. Your old operating system only got space for app and coding for app for single who. But you won't have marriage discussion. That we don't want marry. But everything around you rings single who. Say, pay attention, you may not like me. When you come home, that's single who. Where you dress, that's single who. What you talk about, that's single who. The way you govern your finances, that's single who. The way you govern yourself, that's single who. Listen, until your operating system can be recoded, the only app that's going to come onto it. Let's push the discussion. Some of us, God shifted our operating system. On your operating system now, the app that did our marriage. But my sister, how the other applications are coming as also single thing that you want to download? It doesn't fit in the framework of your life. This thing may look simple, I'm saying to you. But now pay attention. Why the old operating system is operating with bug and viruses and outdated app, long app, unused app, the new operating system, guess what God does with it? The first thing that God does with the new operating system, he put it in their simple incompatibility. So when certain apps get ready to come on your system, the reason why your system is shut or access denied is because you're no longer compatible with it. So certain places you go, guess what happened? The only thing that ring in your mind, I don't belong here. The reason why you know that you don't belong here is because the transformation that has happened in your system has given you a new operating system that has only framework for things that are progressive. Anything that will take you out of progress, it's a access denied. So you want to shift. The code in your life is for some of you tonight to ask God and say, God, give me a different operating system. A new one that will deny certain app from coming into my life. So God doesn't just make it incompatible. You know, I will stay here. Certain people say, but why you can't be friends with us again? Listen, I try to be friends. I can no longer be friends, not because I hate you, but I just cannot connect to you any longer because my operating system has changed. You listen, you're talking the country hard. My operating system doesn't have any language in it that call country hard. My operating system has language in it that say opportunities. So every time you say hardship, I see opportunities. So how can we jive? Your operating system said, let him go on Friday to drink beer. But operating system said, no. Friday after work and everything, I need to rest so I can be resuscitated for the weekend and do the thing that I'm supposed to do effectively for Saturday. You say, let go. I said, oh no, I'm able. That problem. Listen, my sister, let me tell you, we pray the prayer. God will embarrass some of you because he not changed your operating system already. Now let's do this so we shut this down. When God shifts you and changes your operating system, it's not only incompatibility. Guess what he does for you? He installs antivirus. He installs antivirus on your system. And when you install antivirus on your system, let's see what the antivirus does. The antivirus is not signaling suspicion. This may be virus, this may not be virus, this may be bug. No. The antivirus is set up and just pick it up by discernment. So your antivirus got different levels. See your antivirus. Prayer, the antivirus. The word, the antivirus. Worship, the antivirus. The Holy Spirit, the antivirus. Obedience, the antivirus. Then you ask me, you say, PV, but how does this happen? Do you know what the word does for you? When something comes in contact with a new operating system that functions in you, the word scans it. Are you aware? The word of God starts to scan it. Is this of me? Or is this not of me? And if it's not of me, what do I need to do? Alert. And what did alert say? Something is about to attack us. Because this is not of us. That's the reason why some of you cannot even be able to tell virus from antiviral because there's no word in your life. So anything can filter in your life and arrest in your life. Sometimes I teach you at church here and you take it for a joke. Somebody will look at you as good as you're looking and tell you, say, go put water in the bathroom and put candle around you so we can bathe you. Listen, the reason why it's easier for you to take something like that, guess what? Because you have no word level. And so your antivirus is not working. So you can look good like this on the outside, but guess what happened? They're using you well. And let me go back to it. Your hardware is good, but your software is damaged. So you got to pay attention to it. It's good, but your software is damaged. So what the word does for you? The word scans things that come into your life. It scans it. You walk into a room. I just see you the other day as you walk into the room. The first thing I say to you, because you look good, you drive one small car, you walk here and drive the car and say, by the time we talk, the Lord want me for you to lay a seed. Listen, the word inside of you will scan it. What are the things the men of God saying that true or that lie? The reason why it doesn't bother me to say it, because I don't easy to do see. Me and nobody can see play. You understand? We can't get a seed. No, we don't have it like that. But I'm saying the word scans it. When people start to throw stuff, oh, you know, my village people, they're working against me. The word asks you, do you have village people? The word asks you, does your position in Christ allow village people to work against you? That the word, when the word asks you. Are you understand? The word asks you, are your village people more powerful than God? That's what the word asks you. Guess what happened? You go back to bed and you go to bed with ease. Guess what happened? Because the word has scanned it and the word has put on an alert. I said something is about to attack us, but it can't attack us because we know. Are you understand what I'm saying? Now, why the words are antivirus that scans you? Guess what happened? Prayer. Prayer is an antivirus that builds a defense. So prayer, it doesn't have to scan. It just has to make it. Yeah. They almost a firewall. It just has to make it. It can't reach. As you're trying to attack it, guess what happened? It's sending it back. As you try to attack it, send it back. I say some of you can raise prayer and waste time. Oh, back to the sender. We don't need to do back to the sender prayer. All we need to do is cover ourselves. Tell God thank you for what he's doing in our life because of our operating system. When it comes, it goes back to where it's coming from. We don't need to announce back to the sender what happened because prayer has built a buffer zone for us. So when you say, I'm in the season of my big shift, this is where you're saying that God has shifted my system so much that when the worst things, guess what happens? Prayer pushes the other things back. Now, what does worship do as an antivirus? Some of you have problem with worship. What does worship do? Worship refreshes your system. Do you know that sometimes the system just gets slow by itself? But every time you come into worship, what worship do? Worship refreshes the system. You walk out of the room. You walk out of the closet. You walk out of the place of worship. And you feel relieved because worship has refreshed your system. Everything that looked like it was attacking you, guess what worship did? Worship took it, broke it apart, broke it into pieces, and it refreshed the system for you. So you're asking yourself, how is it that this other person is succeeding? It's because when God updated the OS, he updated with antivirus, and they're coding for the next. And now let me say this to you. Obedience protects the system. While prayer is fighting back in the system, obedience is the one that protects the system. Listen to what God will say. If you love me, do what? Keep my commandment. If you love me, obey my commandment. In short, what God is saying that all this thing we're talking about, now quickly, the man and the woman in the room will never experience a big shift if that shift doesn't start from within you. It is not something that's going to start outside. It has to start from within. Now, Jesus is having a conversation, and that's what I read. The Pharisees come to him. They say, why is it that your servants can't fast? Jesus said, but the bridegroom is here. But they thought Jesus was answering them based upon fast and prayer. What Jesus was answering them was based upon tradition and religion. So Jesus said to them in furtherance, he said, if you have new wine, can you put it in the old wineskin? He said, the thing that's going to happen is that the wine is going to be so strong. When it starts to do what it does, it's going to burst the old wineskin. And so the problem that's going to be is that you lose the wine and you lose the skin. This is the condition for a lot of us in the room. We're losing the wine and we're losing the skin because we're still at the same place that God doesn't want us to be. Then he goes further on, he says to them, he said, when you want to sew, can you take a new piece of cloth and put it on an old cloth? He said, no. When it's stretched, the change can happen from outside, guys. Let me say this to you. The change starts. This week, when the other speakers, pastors, and leaders start to speak about the places that the change has to go, it has to start from me. You can't hang on somebody else for the change. You got to hang on Christ for the change. It has to start from within. It is only God that is able to recode you. There's nobody in the room, not even me. Nobody can be able to recode you. It's going to be God can be able to recode you. We're going to shut this down now. But do you know what we're going to do quickly? Do you know what we're going to do quickly? We're going to do 3 things quickly. Because the antivirus is already in the room. So what we're going to do quickly, pay attention.